I'm back, and it is week 2 for me on my journey to discipline and consistency. I'm Miss Mo, if you don't know me already, and I am working on. Let me hide my Darth Vader shirt. I am working on um, discipline and consistency in my everyday life. It is something, an area that I am not strong in. And if you want to learn more about why I made this decision, go back and watch week 1. But this is now week 2, so I'm giving you a quick update on how week 1 went for me. What was the highlight? What was the low light? And what am I going to be focusing on for this week? So, to start off with, and just a reminder, my daily goal is to drink 64 ounces of water, um, make all of my meals and snacks, so all homemade or in home meals, and I will exercise once a day, at least 5 minutes of exercise. Um, so, how did I do? So, for week 1, um, for water, I had 3 days where I drank above 64 ounces of water. And that was mainly at the start of the week because I did not actually add up how many ounces 5 bottles of water was. So I just started off with 5 bottles of water in my head from a previous water goal that I had set. And so at the end of that day, I realized, oh, I drank 5 bottles or almost 5 bottles of water. And that was easy for me to do. But after the third day, I did not drink more than 64 ounces of water. So I had 3 days above, 4 days below. Um, I did not have any day where I had no water. So that's one kudos for myself because I have had some days in the past few months where I did not drink any water. Um, the least amount that I had was 34 ounces. The most was 75. And then I had a couple of days of 50 ounces. So that's about the range of what I was working with water this week. Moving on to exercise. Let me point this out before I move on to exercise. Um, I'm going to come back to journaling, but for water, what I noticed was that I am able to stay consistent and meet my daily goal if I put the water out on the counter and start drinking right after breakfast. If I wait until lunchtime or right before lunch or even after lunch, then I'm not going to meet my goal. And if I don't put the water out in the morning, then I lose track of how much water I'm drinking. So for exercise, I only got 3 days of actual exercise activity. I started out Monday morning walking my kids to school, which is about a 2 mile round trip from my house to their school and back. And then I did about 15 minutes of Sworkit, which is an app. From there, I kind of had sporadic either motivation or time and space to get an exercise in. And so only a total of 3 days of working out for the last 7 days. The key thing with exercise that I have to get past, and I mentioned this in my first video, is this whole idea of like having an interrupted block of time to work out. So I've gotten past the whole I need to go out and run or walk for 5 miles. I've let that go. I've gotten past the whole I need to go to the gym to get a good workout in. I found a way to work out at home using apps or YouTube videos. Now I have to get past my own, frustrations of having the space and time to focus and work out consecutively and get a workout in at once. So I forced myself to do that this week, and that's going to be my focus. I'll talk about for week 2. With food, this is going to be my toughest area, so I need all the encouragement. I only had 3 days where I only ate food that I had in my house. The other 4 days, I either ordered in or I was out and about and picked up food while I was out. So I broke my whole, I'm not going to eat any fast food. I probably have gone away from that totally. Not totally. I'm still focused on eating at home, but the whole 30 days without eating any fast food, I probably had fast food about 2 or 3 days this week. So, I'm not going to force food too much at this point. What I'm going to try to do is incorporate Blue Apron more into my day. Now, Blue Apron does require that I actually cook, and it takes me about an average of about an hour to actually prep and make and cook the meal. But the benefit of it is that I end up with a dinner and then a lunch for the next day. And I have enough Blue Apron meals at this point that I can, cook for the rest of the week every other day and not have to, and that can be a way to do it. I just have to stay consistent with it. So that's how I did for week 1. The biggest thing that I was consistent with, and the biggest benefit that I found for myself, is journaling. Keeping track, like a written notebook track of each and every day on how I did, what it did for me, because I believe that so much of my health and my routine and whether or not I'm able to stay consistent and disciplined is about how I feel about myself, and the daily retrospective, the daily sit down with myself and saying, how did the day go? How did the day before go? Why did it go that way? Either really well or kind of bad, and how can we either sustain the good stuff, or how can we improve the not so good stuff? And what that did for me doing that every day was I felt like I had a reset button where I wasn't carrying the stress and the frustration of not meeting my goals into the next day. So biggest win for me is journaling. I'm going to continue to do it. I found that it's better if I do it if I journal first thing in the morning, because it allows me to reflect on the day before and then set up for the current day. So that is my update for this week. My focus, like I said earlier when I was giving my update, is that for week 2 is remaining, or at least focusing on getting some type of exercise activity in each and every day. I believe I can do it. I kind of had a frustrating experience with my kids earlier today because I tried to work out when they were not taking a nap. It was when they were very active in the morning, and I was ready to work out, so I did it. And I had interruptions, and it took me probably 20 minutes to get a 10-minute workout in. But I think that if I can remain consistent with it, my kids it will become normal to them. They won't be as distracted if mommy is doing push-ups or squats, and I can get my workout in and remain consistent. So I will be back next week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a safe and enjoyable holiday week. I am looking forward to the time off, although I will not be making a whole big meal. And yeah, that's it. Love, peace, and joy to you and your families and friends. And bye, guys. Talk to you next week.